What's going on, everyone? This one goes out to all my bald brothers out there. So if you have trouble growing hair like I do, this one's for you. I've done all the research on it, and at the end of the day, we're going to kind of skip to the end of the video. Really, your best option is to simply shave your head. I mean, you just gotta do it. I've tried all of it. I've tried the Rogaine, I've tried the Finasteride, which the Propecia, I've tried the laser caps, I've tried the PRP injections. I've looked into getting hair transplants and never did that for a couple of reasons I'll go into. But I've basically done every version of it. I've done the topical Finasteride or Propecia. I've done the pill version of it. Kind of went on and off for a bunch of different reasons. I'll get into that later. I've done the laser caps, the Capilius Laser Cap. I've done everything in an attempt to try to save what I had left up there. And at the end of the day, man, really the best option is to shave it. All those things that I mentioned, besides like the laser caps and the PRP, have side effects that go along with it, and they're just not natural. And I kind of came to a place in my life where if it's not natural, you probably shouldn't be putting it on your body or in your body. So really just shaving it at the end of the day was the best route for me. Honestly, I think it looks better, looking back at some pictures, man. When you're just thin up there and you're trying to hang on to that, you're not fooling anyone. Everybody can see it. Everybody knows you're thin up there. You try to do whatever, and it's a worse look. I mean, it's a worse look than shaving it. So I had a lot of reservations. I'm like anybody else. I researched it to the end of the earth, trying to figure out how to save it. And in hindsight, I think if I would have caught it early enough and did everything from the beginning, I probably could have saved it. But I just don't think it's worth it. All the time, the money that goes into it, all the unnatural things that you're putting on your scalp and everything that goes with that is just not good. So kind of to summarize, I mean, it's the best bet's to shave it, but I'll kind of go through, if you're kind of new to this journey and you're going through what you can do and what your options are. I basically know all of them. So obviously the big one, Rogaine or Minoxidil, which is basically the same thing, is the foam or the liquid that you can put on your head. That's where most people start. I've done that one before. You see results from it, but I'll go into a little more detail about why I stopped doing that. You have your Finasteride or Propecia. There's topical versions of that where you could spray it on your scalp, do all that, or there's a pill version that you could take that does that as well, but that basically stops hair loss and starts new hair growth for you. You can do the laser caps, basically red light laser therapy, which I've done that one as well. I've done all of them, guys. That one, you basically put like a little cap on your head. It just shoots red light. It's supposed to stimulate blood flow and stimulate the scalp and kind of reactivate that follicle. PRP injections, basically they draw blood from your body. They put it in a centrifuge. They spin it around. They separate the platelet rich plasma out of your own blood. It's like this kind of weird, like milky looking substance, I suppose. They take that and they inject it back into your scalp. Again, that's supposed to stimulate blood flow, and it's supposed to have a bunch of growth factors in there that are supposed to reactivate your hair. I've done that one as well. All the natural options that you have out there, different shampoos, different pills, Nutrafol, Viviscal, all that sort of stuff. It's just basically bringing different types of vitamins and supplements into your body. Definitely probably the healthiest option of those, but the results on those are pretty mixed. I mean, if you're actually losing your hair and you're susceptible to DHT, that dihydrotestosterone, which causes hair loss in men, then I don't think any of those natural things are really strong enough to actually bring your hair back. So those are your 5 basic treatments or options that you have. Those are the most popular ones that you're going to find if you're scouring the internet looking for this sort of stuff. I think for me personally, when I first noticed my hair loss, probably like 18, 19 years old, I'm 31 now, but I started thinning around 18 or 19. I started to get progressively worse. I tried certain treatments. I would stop, start, which is not good for you either. in hindsight, when I was 18 or 19, if I would have got on Minoxidil, Finasteride, red light therapy, and PRP all at the same time and done those from the very beginning, and this is hard to say, but I'm pretty sure I probably could have saved what I had and maintained and had a head of hair doing that. Looking back, I'm glad that I didn't do that though. Just the amount of time, energy, work, money that goes into that, and then the side effects of those drugs, which I don't think is good for you. So, which is one of the reasons I kind of have always gone back and forth from starting and stopping. But I will say, once I decided to shave the head, man, it felt so much better to not have to deal with any of that sort of stuff. So, for your Finasteride, or excuse me, for your like Rogaine, that's just the foam that you put on your head. On that one, you know, there's all sorts of weird things. I mean, you can experience weight gain from that, rapid heartbeat, kind of like a weird like brain fog, and kind of a weird thing. It's hard to say, if you're experiencing those, for me at least, those symptoms or those side effects. But I definitely noticed the rapid heartbeat. Weight gain is hard to pinpoint to that. It's like, hey, you're doing Rogaine, you're gaining weight. There's so many different factors that go into gaining weight if you're not eating right or exercising. So there's probably times where I wasn't doing that. So that's what you could potentially experience with the Rogaine. Finasteride is a crazy one. I did that one as well. That basically stopped the conversion of testosterone to dihydrotestosterone in your body. And I did that one for like 3 months and then stopped and then started again with the topical version. And that one, is known for like the sexual side effects that it could potentially give you. And just anything that tampers with like your testosterone levels or anything like that, you probably want to avoid. Now, I didn't really experience the side effects of that, but the sexual side effects are super rare for most people. But it's for me, it became a thing. It's not worth tampering with. I mean, you're taking a natural substance in your body, the DHT. It's a byproduct of testosterone, and you're basically stopping that conversion. And at the time, I took the risk and said, hey, I'm going to do it. But looking back, it's like, man, is it really worth it to risk a naturally occurring, hormone in your body and alter that to grow some hair? Not worth it. But yeah, you can experience sexual side effects, kind of some weird like mood swings and stuff. I don't know. I think when I was getting off of Finasteride, I kind of noticed some weird mood type things for a couple weeks that needed to regulate. All sorts of weird stuff that goes with that. It's not a natural thing. I know it's been tested and proven to be relatively safe, but again, why tamper with it when really you could just shave your head? The next one, the laser caps, I've done that one, the red light therapy laser caps. This is probably your safest option, but I don't think you're going to get the same results as like using Rogaine or Minoxidil as this, but you probably will see some results of this. And it's definitely your safest. There's really no side effects to this, but you basically have to wear this cap on your head for like a couple minutes a day. The problem with that one, it's hard to stay on the routine. I found it just to be a pain in the butt to always be putting this thing on and doing it, and it's only a couple minutes a day, but it's like, when do you squeeze that in? Do you do it in the morning when you're brushing your teeth or doing whatever? Do you do it at night when you're laying in bed? It just, it was an interesting treatment, and it was kind of expensive. I mean, the cap itself is like $3,000 to purchase. And again, it's just extra time commitment. And then the PRP, the plasma rich, protein plasma rich platelet, something like that. That one is expensive as well, and I didn't do that one long enough. I did like two treatments of that. You're supposed to do like 3 or 4 treatments every month. One treatment every month for 3 to 4 months, and then you're supposed to do like a maintenance treatment like every 3 to 4 months after that. I did 2. It was expensive, and honestly, it was painful. I mean, they're drawing blood from you, which I'm not a big fan of needles. Then they're taking that PRP and injecting it into your scalp. which would basically give you a bunch of little dots on your head, and then it would swell up for like a day or two. And, you know, does that work? I mean, the research on that's pretty good, that's helping a lot of people, but I just didn't want to do it. Combining all 4 of those treatments and doing them all at the same time will definitely give your best results. I saw results from doing all of these things. I mean, I'm not going to say that I didn't, but for me, I wasn't consistent enough with it. I would start it, then I'd be like, oh, is this really worth it? So I would stop, and I would lose all my results. And I went back and forth between shaving it and wanting hair and not wanting hair. And but at the end of the day, I mean, if you did all 4 of those things and you were consistent with it and you sticked with it for multiple years, you're going to see good results. But again, it wasn't for me, wasn't fitting my lifestyle. And I just came to the realization that's really not that important. And I came to the realization once I actually did shave my head that I probably look better with a shaved head than I did with hair, even when I had a full head of hair. Even though there are times where I'm like, shit, it would be nice to have some nice flowing locks. At the end of the day, for me, this is the better option. So those are your treatments that you could go through. There are always, and then hair transplants. I mean, of course you can do that one. That's, you know, probably the most effective. That's one's gonna be pretty expensive. I looked into all sorts of options for that. You know, doing it in the United States is gonna be super expensive. I mean, you're talking $15,000-$20,000 for a hair transplant. Most people say that you need multiple. You need to do 2 or 3 hair transplants over time, because they're taking good hair from the back of your head, putting it on the top of your head, but you're still losing the bad hair on the top of your head, and you're constantly going through that process of getting that new hair in there. So for me, that just wasn't an option. And the thing with that is that if I ever decided, or the treatment wasn't working, if I ever wanted to shave my head, that I was afraid I'd have the big scar on the back, or the way that they do it, they can take individual follicles out. I'd have a bunch of tiny little dots on the back of my head. The way they do it with the taking it by each follicle, they say it doesn't really leave that much of a scar, but I was like, I really didn't want to take the risk of like, man, what if this fails and I go back to shaving my head, which I liked and it was a good look for me, and I tried this and I experimented with it and it doesn't work, and then I go back to shaving my head and now I have all these little tiny dots on my head and it just looks kind of weird. So for me, I never really fully committed to going that route. And again, I'm glad that I made the choice that I made. And then I even looked into like going to like Turkey to do it. I know I mentioned the cost of it. You could go to Turkey and get it done there for like $3,000-$4,000. It's much more cost effective than the United States. And I was looking into that. I mean, I really was. I was like chatting with a company out there, kind of getting things set up. And again, I'm glad that I didn't go that route. So for me, shave it. I mean, to kind of all wrap it up, shave it. You're gonna like it better, trust me. I mean, you know, whatever wispy little hair you have on top that you're trying to hold on to, it ain't worth it. Honestly, it probably looks worse. If you were to shave your head, you're gonna look better, I'm telling you. And it's liberating just to own it. You shave it, you own it. That's the look. You know, you might feel awkward for a while. When you first shave it, your scalp's gonna be all white. It's gonna take some time for people to get used to it. But just own it, rock it. It's a better look. I'm telling you, trust me, it's a better look for you than holding on to that little wispy hair you got. For me, a lot of people ask like how I shave my head. I'll probably do a separate video on that, but since I'm talking about it, I just use a Gillette 5-blade with a little moisturizing strip on it. I don't know what they call that type of blade or whatever, with just the Gillette handle on there. That works the best for me. I've tried like the specialty head shaving blades, like the head blade. It's like a special one made directly for your hair or to shave your head. That wasn't as good as the Gillette. I've tried like the little buzzer ones, like that you go around your head and you do that. That didn't give you a close enough shave. I thought you could still kind of see that stubble, and especially on the sides when you have that, you know, you could still see the stubble, and then obviously on top there's nothing growing there, so there is no stubble. That's not a good look. So then you get that Gillette 5-blade, super clean. I do it about every other day. So do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, obviously follow that pattern. So you got to do it about every other day. There are times where I go like 2 or 3 days when I don't do it, and you could start to see that stubble come through, which isn't a good look. But if you're keeping it constantly shaved, every other day works. And especially if you let it go too long without shaving, it gets hard to shave because you're gonna have too much hair getting caught in your blade when you're doing it. And it just makes the process of shaving it so much harder. Once you do it, it's awkward shaving it, for the first couple of times, but then you get used to it, and then it takes like, I don't even know, 3-4 minutes to do it every other day. You don't have to worry about messing with your hair all the time, and it's really the better option. So this video is for all the people out there that were like me, searching for all the options that I had and all the treatment options. And honestly, I really didn't find anyone on YouTube that told me just to shave it. So if that's you out there, man, just shave it. You're fine. It'll be fine. You're gonna look fine. Probably gonna look better. You're not gonna pump your body with all these unnatural chemicals and shit that you don't need, that could mess with your hormones, mess with your blood flow, mess with your heart, mess with your sexual function, all that sort of stuff. It's just not worth it. It really isn't worth it. So shave it, guys. I'm telling you, you'll like it. You'll enjoy it. That's all I got on that. Peace out.